guide you, hold you. Trust the hands that will lift you and help you up. Trust the hands that will connect you with your loved ones. Trust the hands that will be here to help you and your loved one. You and your loved one through. Just trust the hands that care, that will always be there. Be there.
Today, we're tackling a really important question, one that lots of us face eventually.
Mm-hmm.
How do you actually know when an aging loved one, maybe a parent or grandparent, needs more support than the family can handle alone?
Yeah, that's a tough one.
We've gathered some really helpful materials from Trusted Hands Senior Care. There's stuff from their show In Trusted Hands, their website, even their social media plans.
Okay. So a few different angles.
Exactly. And our mission here is really to pull out the key takeaways, the signs to look for, what the options are, just so you feel a bit more prepared.
That sounds really useful because when you're right in the middle of it, it's hard to get perspective sometimes, isn't it?
Totally. Having these different sources, like you said, from Trusted Hands should give us a pretty rounded view.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
Where should we start?
Okay, let's dive right into those first signs, the sort of initial indicators.
The early warnings.
Yeah. The In Trusted Hands stuff talks about those small, subtle things that often pop up first, like maybe missing a dose of medication now and then.
Mm-hmm. Or skipping meals sometimes.
Right. Or just, becoming a bit more forgetful than usual. Or maybe pulling back socially.
Yeah, withdrawing a bit.
It's those kinds of things. Seemingly small, but they can be the first clues.
And what's really interesting there is how those little things often point to bigger underlying shifts, right?
How so?
Well, like missing meds or meals, that could be memory, like cognitive stuff starting.
Okay.
Or it could even be physical. Maybe cooking is just getting too difficult, too tiring.
Ah, right. Didn't think of that.
And the social media content from Trusted Hands, it echoes those points. Missed meds, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it also adds things like more frequent falls or minor injuries.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And changes in like personal hygiene or appearance.
Okay.
Plus the memory issues getting more noticeable. And that isolation piece again. It really paints a picture of, independence gradually decreasing.
Yeah, exactly. It's less about one single thing happening
Right.
and more about noticing a pattern emerging over time.
Mm-hmm.
The In Trusted Hands material also mentions, wisely I think, that families often wait a bit too long.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
It's usually not some sudden crisis, but more this slow buildup of these signs. Why do you reckon families hesitate?
Oh, that's a really key question. I think there are probably a few things going on. Denial is huge, isn't it?
Definitely.
It's just hard to admit someone you love is, declining.
Yeah.
And maybe you feel like you don't want to, interfere or take away their independence.
Right, that feeling of stepping on toes.
Exactly.
Yep.
Or sometimes families might just chalk it up to, oh, they're just getting older.
Mm-hmm. Normal aging versus something more.
Yeah, not recognizing when it crosses a line into needing actual support
Mm.
and maybe just not knowing what signs are truly significant.
That all makes a lot of sense. Okay, so shifting gears a bit, this is a sensitive one. The emotions. The In Trusted Hands guide mentions guilt, fear, even families not agreeing.
Mm-hmm.
That really hits home because you can just imagine how tough it is to get everyone on the same page.
Absolutely. And it specifically mentions siblings maybe seeing things differently at first.
Yeah.
Which is super common.
Yeah.
One sibling might live closer, see the daily struggles,
Right, they're seeing it firsthand.
while another one visits less often and thinks, oh, mom seems fine to me.
Yeah, I can see that.
So navigating those different viewpoints, those emotions, it just takes really open, honest communication
Mm.
and focusing on what's genuinely best for the person needing care.
And I really liked how they framed getting professional help.
How so?
It wasn't like, okay, you're giving up. It was more like you're extending the care you're already giving.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
It felt like a small shift, but really powerful.
It really is. It reframes it completely. It's not failure. It's adding expertise, adding resources.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about your car, right? You might top up the oil or whatever. Yeah, basic stuff.
But for the complicated engine work, you take it to a mechanic. It's kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Recognizing when pros can actually boost the quality of care, provide things family just can't do 24/7.
Okay, that's a good analogy. So let's talk about what that professional care actually involves.
Yeah.
Trusted Hands really pushes personalized care.
Which makes sense. Everyone's different.
Totally.
Yeah.
They mention matching caregivers not just on skills, but on personality too. Why is that personality fit so important, do you think?
Well, it's huge for building trust, isn't it? And just rapport.
Yeah.
If the caregiver and the person receiving care click, it just creates a much more positive, comfortable feeling.
Right, less clinical.
Exactly. It's not just about ticking boxes on tasks, it's companionship, reducing that loneliness factor too.
Mm-hmm.
And Trusted Hands also mentions keeping families in the loop, which is, well, it's vital for peace of mind, making sure everyone feels involved.
Yeah, communication is key.
Yeah.
And they talk about aiming to become part of the family, which, could sound just marketing.
Sure, a tagline. But then you see a testimonial, like one from Tasha R. in the social media stuff saying their caregivers are more than staff, they're family.
Right, and that suggests maybe they are actually building those deeper bonds.
Yeah, those personal stories mean a lot.
And the website has more examples, too. People
Yeah.
like Trish W., John C., Kevin H., talking about different situations, living care, just evening help.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how these services work in the real world, the actual impact they have, not just theory.
And it's interesting seeing just how broad their services are. The website lists things way beyond basic home help,
Like what?
like helping with hospice referrals, advice on assisted living places, community nursing support, even active rehab.
Wow, okay, so quite comprehensive.
It seems like it. Like they're trying to support people through that whole journey
Yeah,
as needs change over time.
that approach is really valuable because needs do change, often quite unpredictably.
Yeah.
Having one place that can adapt or connect you to the right resources, that takes a huge weight off families.
And they mentioned specialized care, too, for Alzheimer's and dementia.
But which is crucial. That requires specific training, specific approaches.
Full patients. They specifically mentioned patients.
Definitely. A huge amount of patience and understanding for the unique challenges there.
And the overall focus seems to be on quality of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And making transitions smooth when more care is needed.
Mm-hmm. It's not just about basic safety, but helping people live as well as possible.
Yeah. And that list of services is pretty long. Senior care at different levels, wellness activities, skilled nursing at home, hourly care including 24-hour options,
Okay.
Alzheimer's dementia care, hospice care, help after hospital discharge, a live-in option, respite care.
Respite. That's so important for family caregivers.
Absolutely, giving
Yeah.
them a break. Plus, sitter services, veterans home care, even patient advocacy and adult support services. It's a lot.
It really shows how complex senior care can be, doesn't it? There's no single solution.
Not at all.
And that respite care you mentioned, that's just vital. Caregiving is incredibly demanding. Burnout is so real.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so one of the hardest bits, actually starting that conversation about needing help.
Mm-hmm. The elephant in the room sometimes.
Totally. The Entrusted Hands segment gives some actual phrases you could use, like, let's make a plan before something unexpected happens.
That's good. Proactive.
Yeah. Or, I love you too much to ignore what I'm seeing.
That's direct, but very loving, compassionate.
Right. They feel like good starting points. Why do those kinds of lines work, do you think?
Well, like you said, they come from love and concern, not blame, right?
Yeah.
Let's make a plan. Focuses on the future, on safety, and I love you too much to ignore validates your observations while being gentle.
Makes sense.
And the social media stuff also had some useful angles, like exploring what makes a great caregiver.
Oh, yeah. What qualities?
Things like empathy, reliability, good communication, experience, compassion, kind of the essentials.
Right. So it helps families know what they should even be looking for if
Yeah.
they go down that route.
Exactly. Gives you a sort of checklist.
And I saw they also tackle top 5 myths about in-home senior care.
Oh, interesting. Like what kind of myths?
Things about like how much it costs, or the idea that you automatically lose all your independence, or whether it's even really needed.
Ah, okay. Busting those common misconceptions.
Yeah, it seems like a smart way to proactively deal with the objections people might have.
Definitely. Those myths can be real roadblocks for families.
Mm.
Addressing them head on with facts, that helps people make informed choices, not decisions based on fear.
Good point. Okay, and lastly, the sources give some specifics about Trusted Hands itself. Practical stuff.
Like contact info.
Yeah, they're based in Roswell, Georgia, 600 Houseway, Suite D5. There's a phone number, 470-541-2100.
Okay.
And an email, thesinfo@trustedhandscare.com. They cover quite a wide area, too, 26 counties in Georgia, mainly around Metro Atlanta.
So helpful for people in that specific region.
Right. And they make a point of saying their staff are trained not just in tasks, but in communication, relationships, even using medical equipment.
That emphasis on training is reassuring, isn't it? Knowing the caregivers have the right skills and professionalism.
For sure. So, wrapping things up for you listening, the big takeaways. Really pay attention to those early, sometimes subtle signs we talked about.
Yeah, the missed meds, the falls, the withdrawal.
Exactly. They might seem small, but they can indicate a growing need for more support.
And remember that looking into professional help isn't, giving up.
Right. It's often a really loving, practical step to enhance the care your loved one gets.
Yeah, extending that care, like we said. And places like Trusted Hands offer a whole range of personalized services aiming to really support the whole family.
So, some practical steps for you. Think about those warning signs. Do any resonate with your own family situation?
See if those patterns are maybe starting to appear.
And maybe try using some of those phrases we mentioned if you need to start a conversation. Gently, from a place of love.
Right. And if you're in their service area and these services sound relevant, check out their resources. Even just an initial call can give you a lot of clarity.
Definitely. Okay, here's a final thought to leave you with. These sources, they really highlight just how emotional this whole journey of caring for aging loved ones is.
It's not just logistics.
Not at all. So beyond the practical stuff, the safety checks, the health needs, all crucial. How do we make sure our decisions also really prioritize dignity and, the overall quality of life for the people we care about so deeply?
That's the heart of it, isn't it? Balancing the practical with the profoundly human element. Something important for all of us to think about.
Trust the hands that will connect.